us before marriage, you know, we never like say like, oh yeah, it's too hard, get out, get out, you know, out of the marriage. No, we want you to stay in and, you know, fight hard for it, because it's beautiful to have two individual become one in one thought, in one mind, in one lifestyle, and yet still carry something very unique about them, but still like become very good friends. And you know, it's definitely take a lot of work, but it's worth it, you know.
It's definitely worth it. You know, there's a couple of other things we want to go over, but one of the next ones was this app that they had. It was we can post a link to it on the website.
Yeah.
Or
it's called a Love Maps.
Yeah.
So it's basically all the questions that you get to ask your partner. Fun thing, you know, or also, you know, sexy thing.
Yeah.
Hot. They call it like salsa, like mid
picante. It was like, I don't know, it was like it got progressively,
yeah,
you know, more sexual and more like things that you'd only do if you were married kind of stuff.
Yeah, but it's kind of funny.
Yeah, but there's also a lot more like mild things, like, you know, hug your spouse and tell them two things that they do that you really love.
Yeah.
You know, just a lot of it was just kind of like breaking the norm kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because couples fall in the routine. You know, people have their routines.
Yeah.
Couples, once they've been together for a while, you start to develop a routine, and then things will come into your life and just totally disrupt it, like a dog.
Yeah. Or a baby.
Or a baby.
Yeah.
And then that becomes normal. And then you have to, I think, you know, like we talked about earlier, is like you have to find these times to think about the relationship. And then some of the things that might help with that is doing things that you wouldn't normally do. And asking these questions, doing spicy things, doing mildly spicy things.
Yeah.
Doing very mild things, but that are different. Things you don't normally do will help you grow as a couple.
Yeah. One of the questions I think is really interesting to me, like, who is your husband childhood, you know, oh no, so who's your husband childhood best friend?
To do that, you'll need to turn off airplane mode.
Yeah, we're gonna need to turn off airplane mode.
So yeah, but I know the answer, so it was fun to know, like, ooh, I didn't know that part, ooh, and you know, like going back to again previous week, by being intentional. So I think is that app will help you to be more intentional when
Absolutely.
You don't know what questions you should ask your spouse.
Yeah. And then the last thing that we noticed was that maybe some couples didn't know the concept or the idea of love languages and what their partner's love language is. And that's really important to know how your partner wants to receive love, how they receive love, because you might be like chopping away at it, like, I'm bringing gifts, I am doing acts of service, you know, and your partner is like, you know what, yeah, you did all those things, but
that's not my love language.
You never come home and hug me. You never come home and give me a kiss.
That's right.
So you have to know, and I think it can go a long way in terms of breaking down barriers. Knowing your partner's love language, and then can open communication where communication breaks down, and maintain connection where connection seems difficult. So you can say, like, for example, if your partner, like Ruby, her love language is physical touch and quality time.
Yeah.
So, you know, if we take a moment to have quality time together, and then really enjoy that company. Like the other night, we went also to the beach and did a bonfire, and that was like, boom, big boost to like our quality of time. It was really, really fun, and we brought the dog, and it was a great time.
Yeah.
But you know, another thing is, like, if we're having a conflict, that we can, like a simple, like, hey, you know, my goal is to be connected. My goal is not to dwell on this for too long, but for us to get through it, and we're gonna get through it. And then I'm just here holding your hand and making sure that you understand that, like, you know, that our goal is connection, that my goal is connection. And a touch
Yeah.
and a simple touch like that in that moment can go a long way.
Yeah. And what I learned from other couples about love language is that your love language can change throughout the years, and it's good to catch up with your partners and ask them like the way how they want to receive love and how they usually give away love, because apparently there's two ways. It could be two ways, but it could be one way. What I'm trying to say is like it could be two different languages that the way they receive and the way they give. And like me, if I love to receive, like you said, quality time and physical touch, but when I give, I see myself that I give quality time and gifts. I put a lot of thoughts in my gifts, and that could be, it could change throughout the years. And so it's good to ask your partner, like, hey, how do you feel loved lately? Or
what have I done lately that made you feel loved?
Yeah. Or how do you want to receive love? And and so yeah, it's a very good question to ask your partner, and check back with them. And sometimes you can see that it changed, sometimes it stayed the same, which is great.
Yeah, I think another thing that like really was a great part about doing Credo was that like we got to do this like little art project, and we made our love map.
Yeah.
And it was basically like our love story of like how we met, all the things that we've done together, and we sort of like drew it out in a timeline, and we hung it up in our room. It's in our bedroom.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like in this area where we have like all of our plans, like my wife said, like we do a lot of planning. And
Yes.
And when seeing that next to that plan, I think this morning we were doing some praying and like looking at it, and I was like, you know what, it's so fitting that these things are together, because we see where we're going, and we see also where we've been. And seeing those two things side by side is really powerful, that like we've come such a long way, but we also have so much more things to do, and there's so many more things to look forward to. And I think having that in your house, maybe that's something you can do once a year, is keep adding to your timeline, and or maybe you have a new milestone and you add it.
Yeah.
So it's very powerful to look at, that the art that you do together, also like creating something together.
Maybe we can do another episode about it, the love maps, and you can get to do with your loved one. Maybe not on the walk, but like it's an art project.
You come home from your walk, you come home and you get a big poster board or a small one, and
it stopped and it start a new one.
Oh yeah, that does it.
But you have to click on it because it's not recording right now. There you go. So yeah, maybe we can start another episode about love maps, and we can just show you our love maps. And it's good, like Drake said, it's good to see where have you been through, and sometimes heated conversation, or doesn't have to be, but it's a good reminder your love story. And it just, for me, since I put it up there, every time I look at that, I just like how faithful God is, and have brought us to this moment. And it's very cool to do that. And it's again, you get to do it with your partner, and you get to talk about it. And I think
I think at a certain point you're like, wow, like we did that too, like we did that, like it's like there's so many things.
Yeah, especially if you imagine like we just got married, but then if you married for like 10 years, that is gonna be a long story.
Yeah.
But it's worth to do it, for sure. So our assignment for you this week is just to go on a vacation or staycation.
Could be a staycation.
And use the app, the Love Map app, and to ask questions and with your partner, and enjoy it, and just just enjoy the time together and share with us where you're going and or where you plan to go on, and what questions that from the app that you like most.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think if you're on that walk, that you can, or if you're taking a walk together during your vacation, that you can use those questions and pick maybe 10 and really go deep into them. You know, maybe once your partner answers, you know, sometimes, you know, maybe Ruby hates me for saying this sometimes. I'm always like, what do you mean? Like, you know, sometimes she'll say something, oh, she's very fast and she's very like quick with her responses. But, you know, sometimes I'm like, wait, what did she mean by that? So I'll be like, wait, what did you mean, babe? And she'd be like, I meant this. And I'm like, oh, I totally did not hear that at first. I totally thought something else. But if you know, really dive in and you really ask those follow-up questions, you can get to really understand your spouse at a different level.
And then that's what I actually, that's what another things that I learned from Credo, that I feel like every time I said something or he said something that, you know, kind of like edgy, and you feel like, it's good to ask that person, hey, this is what I heard. Is that what you meant?
Yeah, so definitely a good tactic.
And then, because sometimes speaking and hearing at a different, you know, level, and then it can cause misunderstanding. And so by confirming what you heard, it's clear out, you know, the atmosphere a lot. So do that with your partner when they share something that, you know, like kind of like, what? Sensitive? But also, again, it's a moment. Remember to create a safe spot, a safe place where they get to come out and share who they are, and instead of like receiving it as who they are and instead of that attacking them, you know, which is we don't want.
Yeah, definitely want to have that openness and not be shot down out in the open field.
Yeah, don't shut them down.
Yeah, so definitely, we're gonna also post or maybe not post a link, but maybe just show like a screenshot of what the app is on our website for this episode.
Yeah.
So that'd be engagingwalk.com. Make sure you follow it. Make sure you subscribe.
Yeah.
Whatever button it is that says like, hey, I like this, I want more of this, push it and send it out to all of your people. And be like, this is what I need in my life, is some engaging walk. But we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, we had the
Facebook?
podcast, Facebook, you know, so just follow us. That's engagingwalk.com. You can find all the links there. You can find all the episodes. And we really want to thank you for tuning in. And so next week we're going to dive a little bit more into love languages, what all of them are, how you can do them, and what that means, like what our love languages are, and then how we communicate using our love languages.
And how can love languages help you to stay connected when you don't want to?
And we went into that a little bit. We're going to go a little bit more in depth on the next episode. So we want to thank you for tuning in. We hope that you take our engaging walk and you make it your own.
Sure. Yeah, that's for sure. And don't forget to subscribe us and follow us. And thank you for your time.
This is Ruby and Drake with Engaging Walk, and we're signing out.
See you next time.
Thanks for tuning in.